Welcome back to your podcast, our podcast, the Popular Side Podcast. As always, you have Yinka Yusuf
Evening, people.
and I'm Aki Adike. Yinka, we are
Yes, boss.
recording on Sunday evening, the 27th of October,
Of October.
after
Yeah.
a very, very, very eventful weekend of international sports watching.
Absolutely. Very eventful. It's still ongoing, actually. It's not done yet, but
Still ongoing. All right.
still ongoing.
So
Still ongoing.
what's going on in your world, sir?
I'm good. Before we go ahead, a quick birthday
Yeah,
shout
go for
out
it.
to my big brother.
Yes.
Abdullah Yusuf, chairman Abre Sports Football Club in Ilorin. He had his big 5-0 yesterday. Not too loud, just something small with family and friends. But yeah, everybody that knows him know he's you think I love football? You haven't met him. He lives, breathes, eats. Everything about him is football related. And I often said that if his teenage years were to be now, he will definitely be playing for the Super Eagles. By far, he's one of the greatest footballers I've ever seen. One of the greatest left foots I've ever seen. So anyway, happy birthday, big bro. Wish you many, many, many more years in happiness, good health. And don't worry, we'll catch up later and we'll celebrate a bit more. Okay.
Happy birthday, bros. Everything Yinka said, I echo.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Abre Sports is our club. So
Yeah.
he's the owner, founder, runner, everything of our
everything.
club.
Everything.
So yeah. So big shout out to Big Bros.
When I tell people, right? I mean, our friends that saw him play can attest to. You saw him play too, right?
Yeah,
Didn't you?
I saw him play a little bit. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. He was something else. He was something else. You know. But it's all good. It's all good.
And he did play pro, right?
Yeah, he played,
Yeah,
but
played pro.
not.
Okay.
He played pro. He played second division, third division German league.
Germany.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But it was very brief. It was getting old at that point. If it had been those teenage years, his Quarapoli days, his Unilorin days, USS days, it was unplayable then. Unplayable. But
coming from
it is what it
someone
is.
like you who also had a little bit of talent.
Yeah, my talent in comparison to his is no. I can play a little bit. He could play.
Yeah, you dabbled.
He could play. You know. Anyway,
that's
all the best. We wish him all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday. All right, Yinka, we're gonna go straight into the matches. So
yeah,
I remember last week you were saying there weren't many big Champions League matches, but there were a couple that actually delivered. So let's start with that, right? So Barcelona were home against Bayern Munich. All right. So it ended up being 4-1 Barcelona.
Yep.
Right. And that was on a Wednesday. And then Barcelona went away on Saturday night to Real Madrid for El Clasico. And that ended up a 4-0. Barcelona just dirtying up Real Madrid. So Barcelona had themselves quite the week. I'm going to turn it over to you in 2 seconds. But Raphinha, we must talk about Raphinha, because when he was given the armband, I was one of those who scoffed. This is his third season with Barcelona. Arsenal were trying to get him off Barcelona. One, before he went to Barcelona, and two, the last two off seasons trying to get. I didn't understand why, because I didn't think it was that good. He's having himself. Oh yeah. I thought you knew this, but he's having himself a week. He had a hat trick in midweek, and then he had another great game yesterday. For me, probably one of the picks of the four goals, because honestly, I don't know who else chips in that. Is that even a chip? Because it's like a sideways chip. It's
a volleyed chip. It's a lob.
It put it in a place where there was no goalkeeper in the world. Yeah. Impossible. And it did this without breaking his stride. So I am immensely impressed with this dude. Immensely. I didn't see him as captain material. I didn't necessarily see him as, a starting forward competing with the likes of Vini. Right? Is the hottest Brazilian forward right now. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's him. So it's him. So you can run us through all your thoughts on those two matches. Go.
Okay. So what you said about Raphinha, yes. We both complained when he was named captain.
Yeah.
I still don't believe he should be captain, even despite these two games and his performance in the two games. Yeah.
He gave up the armband yesterday when someone came on in the second half. Who was it? The midfielder. Remind me, Yinka.
Pedri? Gavi?
No. Taller dude. Dutch?
Oh, Frankie de Jong. Yeah.
Yeah. When Frankie came on, he gave up the armband. Yes.
He gave up the armband. Yeah. So Raphinha is 27. Yeah. Raphinha is 27. When Raphinha was at Leeds, that means must have been 21, 22, 23. Yeah. Or 21 to. It was there for a long time. No, I think it was actually more than two. It was more than 2 seasons. I'm not sure, but I think it looked more than 2 seasons. Yeah.
Okay.
You could see that there's a player in there. He was direct. He knew what he wanted to do with the ball. Was he excessive like most Brazilians? Yes, he was. But Raphinha could strike the ball and he could run with the ball. Defensively, he was always a liability. Yeah. So when Arsenal was after him, I was like, fine, this is a fine player. I don't have a problem. I actually like him. But he actually picked Barca. It wasn't as if, Chelsea were offering more money, Arsenal were offering more money. He said, no, I'm going to Barcelona, right? And he actually left some money on the table. I think Deco, being Brazilian, also maybe it played some impact in that.
That was his agent, I believe, right?
No. Deco was in. Was Deco his agent or Deco was at Barca?
Not sure.
So you see, yeah. Okay.
There was a Brazilian connection.
There was a Brazilian connection. Now, more importantly this season, Aki, his preferred position is Lamine Yamal's position.
Yes.
And he's just like, you know what? Play me wherever you want to play me. I'll bring my A game. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna sit here and grumble that why are you giving my preferred position to Lamine Yamal? Yeah.
To a 17-year-old. Yeah.
For a 17-year-old. So Raphinha has been playing like off Lewandowski in some cases or from the left in some cases. Yeah. In the game against Bayern Munich, he started off from the left. I think Fermin Lopez played behind Lewandowski. Yeah. He was a nightmare. It was a thorn in Bayern's backside. He I'm sure Upamecano, or what's his name? Yeah, Upamecano. Upamecano and this South Korean guy Kim. I'm sure they will have like, thank God this guy. He ran them ragged all over the place. Yeah. And I thought that's his best performance of the season. I don't think he would do better. Although he scored a hat-trick in that game, he actually played better against Madrid.
I agree.
He played better against Madrid. And this then goes to the Brazilian national team. He hardly plays for the Brazilian national team. So it's a bit confusing from that standpoint. But all in all, Raphinha is having a fantastic season. I think he's stepping into his prime. I think also not playing on the right has kind of opened up his game a bit more. Because when he was always playing on the right, it was one of two things. I mean, it was only one thing, rather. He was always going to cut in. Always cutting in. right? So now maybe he has a wider space to run. I don't know, but it seems he's found within this Barcelona setup, he's found a better position than competing with Lamine Yamal. And
Uh,
all the credit should not go to him. I think part of the credit should also go to the coach. Because
yeah,
frankly, if it's me, I will be opting between Yamal
yeah,
and
that's what I would
Raphinha.
have done. That's
I
yeah,
won't play them together. So yeah. So let's give the coach credit where it's due, right? I won't have done that. But right now, not playing him in Lamin's position and also getting some defensive effort out of him. Because
absolutely.
Raphinha, he didn't, I mean, when he was at Leeds, he didn't care about defending.
He
But
didn't
now tracking,
tackle. He
he
didn't
didn't
do
do
anything. Yeah,
anything. But now tracking back, following through, making runs. Come on, he's in form. He's the
yeah.
hottest Brazilian in Europe right now. So I'll give a major thumbs up to him. I can,
So quick one. Just question for you.
yeah.
Um, form weak or permanent class? As he just, is he just 27 in his prime, and we're gonna be seeing at least 80% of this going forward for the next 3, 4, 5 years, or is he just having a great week?
Um, Good question. So here's the thing: his game
Mm,
has elevated. Yeah,
okay.
it has definitely elevated. Um, and it's not just this week, Aki. It's been this season, and it has to do with Flick. So once again, I'm going to
Yeah.
give Flick that credit. It has to do with Flick. It's like a switch just popped, and it's like, dude, this is how you should play. This is how I
Mm,
want you to play. So, given that platform that Flick has given him, I think you will see similar performances from now
mm.
onwards. But will it get to these 2 weeks that we've seen hat trick against Bayern?
Oof.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. And the crazier thing is, those 2 games were Barca's toughest games so far this season in terms of opponents that they faced. So it's
Yeah.
like he stood up to the limelight and was like, yeah, this is my state to shine, and he did a
Yeah.
fantastic job. So to answer your question, we will see something like this week in week out. Maybe not, but you will not see him go back to Raphinha of
Mm,
2 seasons ago or last season that didn't have the confidence in front of the goalpost, that could not influence, games for Barca. I think something has been unlocked within him, and we might not see this kind of performance, but we will see something close to it.
yeah. I think the armband changed him completely. You know what I
Fair
mean?
point.
That was a huge call, because I would have given it to Lewandowski. Is been there, done that, captain of Poland. Um,
Yeah.
everyone looks up to him. He's humble. He's still deadly in front of goal. He's scored 16 goals already this season. It's crazy. More than
Yes.
anyone else in all of the top 5 leagues in Europe. It's it's
Mm.
it's a little insane. I thought he had a dip last year. I still talked about him in one of the earlier games this year. That this guy may not be, is the way he takes care of his body. It reminds me a lot on that front of Djokovic. The way he takes care of his body. Like, I mean, yes, people are always coming at you, and you can get injured at any time, but he always looks in shape. He's always in shape. Like, he's not slowing down as an older player. But anyway, so I
Yeah.
thought it would be Lewandowski. So that's what I would have done. But I think it's changed. Raphinha was a big part player when Dembele was fit. If you think about it, no one
Yeah.
thought. I mean, come on, like this came out of nowhere, right? For me, it came out of nowhere. So I'm really really impressed. Quick one on the Brazilian side of things. I'm not shocked. They always have their favorites. When Gabriel Martinelli has been good, it hasn't played. When Gabriel Magalhaes has been good, Militao always plays. It doesn't matter. In Brazil, you bide your time. Unless you're like an 18-year-old phenom, then they rush you into the team immediately. It's
Yeah.
one or the other. You know what I
Is
mean?
one or the other.
Yeah. If you're not Neymar at 18, or this new kid, what's his name?
And
The new kid.
Hendrick.
Endrick, they will find a way for Endrick to play. They don't care. They don't care about Rodrigo. I'm like, all that working your way through stuff thing doesn't really work in Brazil, So yeah, you're and if you're 38, if you're favorite and you're 38, you're still playing. They don't care.
Yeah.
So
But
so
I
that's I'm
lost
not surprised.
I lost all credibility for the Brazilian national team setup because Paqueta still plays almost
Oh
every
yeah,
game. Almost every game. And I'm like, sorry. And you know the worst part? They give him the 10 shirt every single game. And I'm like, what is going on
Inka,
here?
I swear, when you mentioned Paqueta, the first thing that came to mind was not a number 10. I didn't know you were going to say that. That was the first thing that came to mind. I'm like, they keep expecting number 10 production out of this man, and he's not a number
He's
10.
he's
It's not a
not.
winger. It's not a shuttling midfielder. What are you, bro? You
He's a
know?
gambler. He's a gambler. At least
Yeah,
we're
that's
sure
what
of
it is.
that.
And then every 7 games he'll score a couple goals, and then people will
Yeah.
remember, oh yeah, and then he can dance with Vinny, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's Vinny's best friend. Maybe that's what it is. They have a nicely choreographed,
Nah.
because I feel
Nah.
like Rodrigo is underrated for Brazil, which doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me because it might be their most complete forward, but they're not giving him any confidence. He can do everything, but they don't encourage him. So I think he needs to leave Real Madrid and go, blossom somewhere else. But that's
Nah.
just me.
But we know that's not gonna happen.
No, it won't. But I think it should. But I don't. I
Yeah.
don't want to deviate too much. Let's stay on point.
Mm-hmm.
So, unpopular opinion. I was
Yeah.
really, really impressed with Barcelona. And I'm a Barcelona fan. You know this. I'm an Arsenal
Mm-hmm.
fan. Barcelona are they're my number 2 team. I'm not a Real Madrid fan.
Yep.
But unpopular opinion, Real Madrid would be okay. And this is what I mean. This is what I mean. Hold on, Inka. This is what I mean. That game yesterday was goalless at the half. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was goalless at the half. And then Barca had an explosion. Okay? In the second half. Kylian Mbappe was offside 8 times yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
8 times. The last 2, he had just given up. He was offside by like a full yard. A couple of them were very tight at the beginning. Okay. I think you call it IGG, initial Gregra. I think he was too nervous coming in. He's a selfish, self-centered player anyway. Remember when we had the conversation about Henry versus Kylian, and yesterday was a demonstration. Henry never had a game like that, where you kept showing him a certain thing and he never adjusted. That lack of football IQ was on full display yesterday. But why would Real Madrid be okay? They have one of the best coaches that we've ever seen. The players are still the same, right? If they give this guy time, they're still only 6 games behind. Sorry, yeah, they're 6 points rather. They're still only 6 points behind.
6 points. Yep.
Again, for the first half, he was goalless, and this is with Vinny being as terrible as could be, and selfish Mbappe being offside however many times in the first half. Okay, so Barcelona didn't really have that many scoring opportunities in the first half. Let's be real. They had a few. Real had way more. They didn't convert it. The XG would tell you the story.
Yeah.
Barca didn't have an XG of 4 higher than Real Madrid. So this is a big rivalry. No one's gonna care what I have to say. Real Madrid are not 4 goals worse off playing at home than Barcelona. So I think everyone needs to calm down. I think Barcelona fans, and I'm one of them, need to calm down. Barcelona are not as good as the scoreline flattered them. I've heard people say it could have been 7, and I'm like, how? They could have been down 4 at the half. If you replaced Kylian with, what do we call them again? What do we call them? What is it? Replacement level player or whatever. Like if you replace Kylian, if you replace Kylian with an average striker who wasn't full of themselves, Real probably going 2-0 or 3-0. What are we talking about? But go on, Yinka. Well, what do you have to say about this?
To some extent, I agree with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the scoreline flattered Barcelona, just like the scoreline against Bayern also flattered them.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about it. We'll go back to that. Yeah, we'll go back to that.
The scoreline also flattered them, but they deserve to win both games.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
That's one.
Okay.
2, I've said this 1,000,001 times about Madrid. You fly too close to the sun, you will get burnt. Madrid have not been playing well. They have been winning on individual brilliance.
For
Yeah,
2
it's
seasons.
like for maybe forever.
Yeah.
It's like their defense is their own division, the midfield is a different division, and the attack is a different division. Yeah, that cohesion hasn't been there, right? They've ridden Jude Bellingham
last year, not
right
this year.
last year, but
Yeah.
this year they can't because Mbappe is a clog in the wheel for Madrid. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And I said this at the beginning of the season. You told me that Ancelotti will work it out. Yeah?
Yeah.
You cannot have 3 players that can discern when I need to pass or when I need to shoot. Vinny is passing when he needs to shoot, is shooting when he needs to pass. Mbappe is doing the same. It's only Rodrigo and Jude that seem to be willing to play for the team. And their midfield as it stands is like the job of the midfield is not even to get involved in the attack. Just collect the ball, give it to Vinny, give it to Mbappe,
Recycle.
and go and recycle. You can't win this way. You cannot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Barca lineup that they faced yesterday, on paper, they should be beating Barca black and blue.
Yeah.
Have you seen that lineup? That Barca lineup,
they're missing so many players.
If people don't see the starting back line for Barca.
Yeah.
Number 1 goalkeeper was Pina, substitute goalkeeper. They had Kunde at right back, Kubasi, a teenager. How old is he now? He's still a teenager, isn't he?
It's still a teenager.
Kubasi and Inigo Martinez, centre backs. Balde, who is also a teenager, left back. In midfield, they had Pedri, who is 20 what? Or is still a teenager, one of the two. It's close to, I think it's 2021.
Like 21.
Casado is a teenager. Fermin Lopez is a teenager. Lamine Yamal is a teenager. And this is the same Barca team that played Champions League game against Bayern Munich a week. The same team. They didn't change the lineup. He played the same team.
Yinka,
right?
The average age of Barca, I believe, was 23. Not just that, they had one fewer day to recover because Real Madrid played on Tuesday, Barcelona played on Wednesday. But they had to go on the road. So they had, but at least they didn't travel. They didn't travel on Wednesday, but still they had to travel to, the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
So everything was against them.
So going back to my point,
mm-hmm.
Madrid played Celta Vigo before the Champions League game. Yeah.
Yeah. And Barca played Sevilla, I think. Yeah.
Madrid, Celta Vigo should have beaten Madrid. They won 2 individual brilliance from Mbappe and Vinny Jr. That's what they've been riding all season. The Champions League game, first half, Dortmund were over them like a rash. And if Dortmund were to be a more, I don't want to say better coached, I think because that might be harsh on Nuri Sahin, but if they were to be a more
serious-minded team,
a more clinical team,
yeah,
a more clinical team, a more tactically aware team, they will have beaten Madrid easily. So
Bro,
when it was 2-1,
I've given up on Dortmund.
When it was 2-1, there was no cause for alarm. Yeah. Just stay calm. But they lost it. I think maybe the ghost of last season came to mind, and they were like, it's 2-1. And they ended up getting beat 5-2. So that scoreline flattered Madrid significantly. There's no way that game was a 5-2 game. No way. But goes back to my point about Madrid. They have not been playing well. It's just like El Clasico is a big stage, so everything seems amplified. They actually played better against Barca that they've been playing all through the season. Yeah. So that's my take on Madrid. Will they be fine? I believe they'll be fine. Somebody needs to check, Mbappe's ego. I've said this all year. You have to. It's not every time that you will be the, what do you call it, the star performer. Sometimes you being the star performer is you dishing 3-4 assists, not scoring 4 goals. Yeah, he needs to learn. He needs to calm down. Yeah, or else Madrid are just gonna have a bland season. Based on their standards, because their standard is winning Champions League.
Absolutely.
Their standard is winning Champions League. They're going to have a bland season. And, the Madrid stars, they don't waste time. White flag, immediately. Once you start messing up, white flag, you're gone. You're gone. Anyway, that's my take on Madrid, Akin.
Final word on this. Does Ancelotti make it through the season?
No, I don't think they're going to fire him.
Are you sure?
Nah,
are you sure?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not, Akin, you asked me a question. I won't fire him. But I don't know what Madrid will do. Yeah, They might want to scapegoat someone. They can't scapegoat Mbappe at this point. The number one scapegoat is the coach. Money. It makes too much money. I get that. But come on, man. Come on. You can't. Yeah. You can't. But we never know what Madrid will do.
I think not making... They're going to... He didn't sign Mbappe. Right?
Yeah.
They did. But now it's up to him to make it work. And it's not working.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's about to start working. You see what I'm saying? So it's on him. Not that it will be on him. It's on him. And if he can't make it work, and you can see Vinny actually showed some leadership yesterday. Vinny was trying. Vinny had a really bad game. So I'm not even trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to stay away from how bad he played. He had a really bad game, but he was trying. He wasn't the one who ran offside 8 times. Like if I was the coach, I would fine Mbappe for that performance. You cannot be offside 8 times. I'm sorry. What are you doing?
So for someone to be offside, it takes 2 to tango, right?
Okay.
Is it that you move too fast or the pass was late? It's one of 2 things. So
but 8 times?
Don't attribute the whole 8 times to Mbappe. There were times where the weight of the pass is wrong, the pass is late. It's not him being excessively eager. And there was a particular one, the one he scored, that VAR chopped off. And I'm like, come on, guys, that's not offside. They said they did this automated, and they said his shoulder was ahead of. I'm like, come on. I'm looking at this.
That was the only one. That was the only one that was tight. But that was the only one that was tight. That was the only one that was tight. And Yinka,
fair point.
Barcelona actually showed them how to do it. I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was Lewandowski's first.
Yeah.
It was first goal. You know what it did?
Yeah.
It was tight. So he ran, what do you call it? He ran sideways.
Yeah.
Before running forward.
He only moved forward when the pass was released. Which is what strikers are trained to do, right?
This is and he had the presence of mind to do this on the road, under pressure. That would have been an Mbappe offside. And I look at this man, I'm like, that's a properly trained, center forward, which goes back to...
If the defender steps up, then that means the pass is too late. But in this case, if you run parallel, you run along the lines of the offside, and then the ball is hit, you then make your run.
Then boom, you
more
explode.
Often than not, you will not be caught offside. If you're caught offside, that means the pass was late. I agree with you. And Lewandowski, say whatever you want to say about him. You saw the finish. You saw his finish, right? That's composure.
Is a classically trained thoroughbred. I don't even know how else to put it. And
anyway,
this is like a good segue because we have to big up yet another striker who, for me, is neck and neck with Lewandowski, Harry Kane. I can't believe I'm saying it. But even in that loss to Barcelona,
Yeah.
he showed
Mm-hmm.
this class. You know what I mean? He had a goal chucked off for offside. Again,
Mm-hmm.
he could have been a little patient. He wasn't, but he still got his goal. I believe he scored today. I think he scored today.
Yeah, it
He
did.
scored
It
today.
does. It scored
Yeah.
one. Yeah, today.
So let's talk very briefly about Bayern Munich. Like you said,
Mm.
the 4-1 flattered Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Bayern Munich went back home because they
Mm-hmm.
played on Sunday and others that played on Saturday and maybe Friday. They were sitting
Mm-hmm.
second. But now they were away to Bochum. They won 5-0. Everybody
Yeah.
scored. Olise looked like he belonged when I saw him. And it's just shocking to me. I'm like, this guy came from Crystal Palace. I mean, you liked him, I liked him, we probably loved him, but that's not the point. Like, he looked like he belonged. He's taking direct free kicks and scoring them and freezing goalkeepers in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's starting ahead of. It's pretty much the number one pure wing type option
Yeah.
over Sane, over Gnabry, over all those cats. You
Yeah.
know, the
Yeah.
creative part of Bayern Munich now is I think is only behind Musiala right now.
Yeah. But
I didn't see that coming.
I'm not shocked, Akin. If Eberechi
Wow.
Eze
Okay.
leaves Crystal Palace today and goes to Bayern, he'll do the same thing, if not better. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it goes back to my point. If you let me play my game, if it's a tactical game and
Hmm.
it's not a bullying game, and where you play football, I play football, it suits Olise, it suits Eberechi Eze, it suits Musiala, right? But when you come to a league that not everybody's interested in playing football, some people are just out to kick the living daylight out of you. This is what happens. You're playing with the mindset that I don't want to get kicked. I need to, play within a system. You understand? So
Hmm.
I'm not shocked about Olise at all. He
Interesting.
it's bound to happen. And you're going to a
Hmm.
Bayern Munich. For example, you said they played Bochum today. Look at
Yeah,
the
they play Buckington.
Bochum are not the good side, but Bochum still
No.
won't come. They won't come and pack the bus and say you're not going to score
No.
or
They try to
man
play.
mark your. And
They try to play.
everybody's trying to play.
They try
Everybody's
to
trying to
play.
play. So which is why Bayern will be fine in the German league. Where Bayern have a problem, Akin, is the Champions League. Because right now, guess where they're sitting? They are 23rd on the
Outside.
table
Whoa.
of
Jeez.
36. They are in playoff, right? And they are way deep in playoff, not outside.
Hmm.
Now, here's where this. So maybe we were too. I don't want to say we're too eager to jump on this UCL format. The first three games have
Okay.
been crap. First three games
Yeah.
have been crap. But if this stuff continues this way, Akin, they'll be fire on the mountain.
Okay. Say more. Say more.
Because I have the table open here, Akin. The people that are in
Okay.
automatic qualification right now is Villa, Liverpool, City, Monaco, Brest, Leverkusen, Inter, Sporting. Those are the 8 teams that are clear.
Where's
Yeah?
Arsenal? I thought isn't
Arsenal is
Arsenal level on
Arsenal is
points with
level
number
on
8?
points
Yeah.
we're level on points even with number 3, right? But in terms of
Wow.
goal difference, because City have
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
points,
Yeah.
Arsenal too have 7 points. Yeah.
Got it.
So I'm just reading out. Yeah. Now the people that are outside of playoff right now, not even in playoff, you have Milan,
AC
you have
Milan.
Atletico
Yep.
Madrid, right? You have Leipzig is here. They are the table toppers in the German league.
And they're good. They're good. Well, they were the table toppers. It's Man U now. It's Bayern now.
It's
Yeah.
no, but same points. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
goal
I know.
difference. But
Mm.
you see where I'm going to with this. Yeah?
Mm.
See where I'm going to with this. Madrid can close an eye, right? And they'll still be top 2 Bayern. They can close an eye and
Yeah.
still be top 2 in the Bundesliga. They
Madrid
can.
too.
Madrid too
Madrid
can
too.
close. In fact, Madrid can close both eyes and still be second in La Liga. Yeah?
Absolutely.
They can. So this is where Madrid's toughest game of the season was the Dortmund game, not even the Barca game. right? In terms of play, yeah, because first half against Barca, they were, like you said,
They're
they could
dominant. Yeah,
they were
they should.
dominating. They were
Yeah,
dominant. So you see what I'm saying? So and
yeah.
still yet they're trying to, they're not there yet in terms of the whole team structure, how they intend to play and stuff like that. But they're still second on the table,
Hmm.
right? So Bayern right now, Bayern have 3 points, Aki, in Champions League.
That's not good.
That's not good. And you and I have talked about Kompany and how he got the job, being
Mm-hmm.
the eighth option. And I think
Mm-hmm.
right now there will be some people in Bayern that are looking for excuses to get him fired. I
So,
am worried
a,
about
cou-
Kompany.
a couple things. I'm not worried. Why am I not worried?
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that gave him the job, yes, they want you to win. You must win. If you don't win, you're not going to be there. That's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But you also must play well. You must show well.
Yeah.
And they look good. They are, and they will only look better, right? He's adding more and more ammunition. Musiala
Mm.
Musiala he scored with his head today. He never scores with it. It was going like this, he never scores with his head. And it wasn't like a straightaway header. It was a lot of skill the way
Mm.
he did it. Olise, home run. Even
Mm.
Paulinia. Paulinia has added something to that midfield.
Mm.
Neuer has, is regressed a little to the mean, but in big moments, are there three goalkeepers in world football that you'd rather have? I don't know.
Nah. Mm.
Are there
I agree.
five? Definitely not five. And you have Hurricane, you know, to get you through those cold nights, when things start happening in the spring and, in the winter and the early spring. So, but I don't think they can survive. I don't think he can survive another 1-4 loss. So you can't have any more.
Mm.
No, you have to tighten it up. I don't care how well Barcelona is playing. You cannot lose 4-1. Even though they lost 8-2. Oh, sorry, they beat Barcelona 8-2
Someone,
back in the day.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. I'm worried for him. I'm sorry,
Okay.
I am. I
Okay.
am worried
All
for
right.
him,
All right.
right? Because the only reason why he's eighth option is because some people in the Bayern camp are not comfortable with him being coached. And
Yeah, they
I'm
want
not
someone else.
there,
Yeah.
but I will be shocked right now if those same group of people are not going, what's going on? 3 points, we're out of playoffs in Champions League. This is not good enough. They'll be like, but you're top of the table. We're joint top of the table in Bundesliga. That's not why we got him. We've won. Do you understand? They
But
will
that's but
go
that's
on and
that's
on.
literally why they got him. They were okay. They did well in the Champions League last year. Tuchel lost his job because of the Bundesliga. That's the reality. Although
Actually,
the
what
KPI
do you
will
mean they were
change.
okay? Dortmund got to the final. You didn't. That's see. I'm telling you the way
Yeah,
these guys
but
think.
I know. But for how they were playing at home, did anyone think they should do anything in the Champions League?
We're saying the
Yeah.
same thing in two different ways, right? All I'm letting you realize is right now,
Yeah,
this guy needs to be prim and proper to keep his
I agree.
job.
I
Right
agree.
now, they are not prim and proper.
Mm,
Some people in Bayern are already grumbling.
mm.
They are
No,
already
no, that's
grumbling.
real. That's
They're
real.
already
That's real.
grumbling. So he needs to reel out performances in the Champions League, at least to, he cannot, worst case scenario playoffs. Worst case
Okay.
scenario playoffs. You
All
can't
right.
you can't be languishing in out of playoff territories in the UCL. It's gonna be a disaster for him.
All right. So let's wrap up our Champions League coverage. Is there
Mm-hmm.
anything else you want to talk about in the Champions League? Let's see. We'll talk about Company, Villa at top of the table, which is just crazy. But I told you I was really happy for Unai Emery. I don't know. How do you
Mm.
feel about that?
I'm happy for him. Yeah,
Okay.
he seems to be grinding out the wins, and the
Mm-hmm.
fixtures have kind of been in his favor, right?
Mm.
Um, Same thing with Liverpool. Liverpool grinding out the wins. Fixtures have also kind of been in their favor. They've been playing
Mm.
people off form. Leipzig, they played in Champions League. Leipzig should have won that game. Yeah. But Openda, you thought Mbappe was horrible with offsides. You have not seen Openda. Openda is worse. Openda is worse.
He was fine in the league this weekend. He was fine in the league.
Yeah, he was. So three English teams top of the Champions League for now. Let's see how long that lasts. Surprisingly, let's see how that lasts. I'm happy for Unai Emery. I think he's found a club that he can be at for a long period of time. Yeah. And
you know what's next, though, right?
What's next?
Spurs.
What about Spurs?
That's where he's gonna coach next.
Nah, it's not happening.
You know it's gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
You know it's gonna happen.
He will be a fool
to leave money.
Villa. Who has money, Villa or Spurs?
Spurs. They have money when they choose to spend it.
No. So you think Villa don't have money?
Oh, Villa have a lot of money.
Owners they're rich.
I understand.
Villa is in the Champions League. Hold on, Villa is in the Champions League. Villa is willing to put the money down. Villa have a younger squad, better squad. Why would you leave Villa and go to Spurs?
I didn't say right now. I'm just telling you what his next job is going to be.
Okay.
We'll come back. We'll circle back.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I'm going to Spurs written all over it. Just you'll see.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see how that goes.
All right.
But anyway, I'm happy for him. Good job.
All right. So congrats to Unai Emery. I think we're done with the Champions League. Why don't we very quickly review what happened around the top 5 leagues in Europe? Let's start with Italy. So we had a little bit of a situation at the top of the table. You want to talk about it real quick, and then we can just move on?
So 2 and 3 played. Inter Juve played earlier on today. Crazy scoreline, ended up 4-4. Inter were leading 4-2. Then this Turkish young boy, Yildiz, West Ham for Juve. He came up with two goals, and the game ended 4-4. So as they shared the spoils, Napoli are now 4 points clear. What's his name? Conte's boys won 1-0. Their captain got the goal for them.
Captain being who? Who is their captain?
Spina. What's his name again? Their right back captain.
Okay.
It's not Spinazzola. Spinazzola is not. It's not Spinazzola. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name. Di Lorenzo. Yes.
Yeah,
Di Lorenzo got the goal for them. So they're 4 points clear. Akin, it's been written in the stars. I think Napoli are gonna win. I think Napoli are gonna win this stuff, right?
I think so.
And Conte will fire himself at the end of the season.
He'll complain about something. He'll complain
about something, and
it might be this or cement.
He'll go back to Juventus to take over. What's his name? Take over the job from Thiago Motta. But right now, things are just lining up for them. They're winning games they shouldn't win. There was one of the games I saw that the opponent thought they scored the last minute equalizer. VAR went cancelled the goal. So Napoli, they're doing good. I'm happy for them.
Okay.
So that's Serie A.
Hold on, before you leave Serie A. Ademola Lookman looks like he had himself a game this weekend. Was it 2 goals and 2 assists?
Yeah, 2 goals, 2 assists. Yeah,
2 assists. Yeah. Okay. Is he gonna win African Player of the Year?
Good point. I think he should win. I've talked about this openly.
Yeah.
But you saw the list that CAF came up with.
Yeah, he's on it.
And he's on it. But I told you guys, I said, these guys will pick. They will give more weight to AFCON than what you're doing at your club. I said it. People were like, nah. I said, see, this is CAF. They're looking for a reason not to give the Nigerian. I mean,
that's the truth.
They're looking for a reason not to give the Nigerian. Yeah? because they will say, see these Ivorians now, they won, so we'll give it to an Ivorian captain or something. I will be, anyway, when the result comes out, we will know, but it will be the height of, I don't know what other English to use at this point, Akin. It will be stupidly egregious if you don't give Ademola Lookman the African Football of the Year.
So there are 2 Nigerians on it, Lookman and Ekong, the captain.
And Ekong, yeah.
How many Ivorians? Adingra was on there, right?
There are quite a number of Ivorians there. I can check. Adingra was on there. There are quite a number there. So they might not give him, yeah. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Talking of CAF, you saw what happened, right? On the Libya thing.
Yeah. You want to talk about it?
So Libya have been fined 50,000 USD. And they've also forfeited 3 goals, 3 points. So the 3 goals, 3 points comes to the Super Eagles. Yeah. And the only reason why this happened is because it's social media era. This is high profile. There are high profile. The whole world saw what happened, and the whole world, CAF didn't have a hiding place, or else we know what. This is not the first time Libya would do this, or clubs in Libya would do this. And I will say this to all our Nigerians, quote and unquote. I can quote and unquote them, have you?
Ouch. Yes, go on.
I can quote and unquote them. To all the Nigerians, I was like, is it not NFF? NFF did that. Right? Come on. Give yourself a bit of, is it respect, a bit of credibility, a bit of Nigeria we have issues, but not that kind of. Yeah? Not that kind. And nothing came. The NFF, no issues whatsoever, no fine, nothing, none. So that means CAF must have concluded their investigations. And if you understand why for CAF not to say Nigeria, take a slap on the wrist, that means Nigeria did nothing. If they had sniffed out, you did one minor thing. God, this is CAF. We know how they function. Anyway, so
Yinka,
we're happy that has ended.
Yeah, I'm biased, obviously. I'm a Nigerian. I fiercely love Nigeria. I fiercely love the Super Eagles. But I also really, really love Augustin Eguavoen, the current coach.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that without the right leadership, this thing could have gone left very quickly.
Yeah.
I think if you had a wishy-washy coach with characters in that room, on that plane, like Boniface, and Osimhen was there too, right?
Yeah. No. Osimhen wasn't. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there, but Boniface was there.
Boniface was there.
I don't know what these guys would have put on social media, without real leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that contributed to it. And he made sure when he landed, it wasn't in Kano. When he landed in Abuja, that was when they started talking. Not when they landed in Kano. Mm-hmm. When someone put a mic in his face, it wasn't politically correct. He spoke the real. He spoke passionately. He pretty much prosecuted the case the very first chance he got. Because you don't know how many chances you're going to get. You don't know who's listening. And he gave credit to the pilot and the crew, but he immediately talked about all the things, all the shenanigans and stuff. So I think leadership matters. Again, bringing all these people who don't know Africa, or all these people who only have a career because it's Africa. You know what I mean? They can't coach in their own country. They haven't coached in their own country in 30 years. They don't have an identity. They don't know anything about the game. So I'm like, let's just stop doing this. But we have a lot to get through, so we're gonna leave the Super Eagles alone and keep it moving.
One more thing before we move to EPL, Akin. French League. It's 70th minute. Marseille at home to PSG. PSG is killing them 3-0, but Marseille had a player sent off in the 20th minute, so they're playing 10 against 11, so it's understandable.
There goes our
PSG's
dream.
League. It's PSG's league anyway.
There goes our dream of someone challenging PSG, I guess. Maybe
PSG,
next year.
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
Cool.
All right. anything we've talked about the Bundesliga. We just talked about France. We've talked about La Liga.
EPL
Are
straight.
we missing EPL straight? All right, so let's do it.
EPL straight.
Yinka, we're gonna
Yes, sir.
go. We're gonna go Man U, Chelsea, City, and then Arsenal, Liverpool. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's start with Man U. So my mind was blown because their coach came out after the game. One, he was mouthing something to Lopetegui, and I don't know why. It was like when they went to shake hands, it was saying it was just looking very petulant, like like Lopetegui did something to him. And he said that was one of their best performances of the season. Yinka Yusuf, they scored one goal. They are the third. They've scored the third fewest goals in the EPL this season. Right? They've scored 8 goals in 9 matches, I believe. Only Southampton and someone else have scored 6. Okay, so they're number 3 from the bottom. Okay, they are 14th out of 20 in points, and they just lost to West Ham. And the 2-1 kind of flattered them, right? I don't remember their XG, but when I saw it, I just shook my head. They were terrible. Haaland was shooting from outside. They look just incredibly awful. This man said it was one of their best. Can they just get the stuff over with and just be done with him?
Akin. But he's not lying. This was one of their better performances.
Stop it. Please, just stop. Don't do this. I can't.
And you know why he's saying this? Because the man has gone to look at the stats, right? And it's the stats that is making him say what he's saying, Aki.
Oh, God.
So he's saying XG, I had an XG of 2.1. West Ham had 2.9, by the way. I created more big chances than West Ham, right? They didn't have more corner kicks. I had more of the possession. I had 18 shots, total shots. I had 7 off target. I had 5 on target, more than West Ham's. So he's looking at the stats and he's saying, based on the stats, we played better than West Ham. And the penalty they gave West Ham, it's a dubious penalty.
I didn't see the foul. I didn't see the foul.
It should be 1-1. We should have. Do you understand? I get where he's coming from. There's a bit of truth in what he's saying. You hear me out? I'm not a hard fan, but I'll tell you the truth.
I'm listening.
I'll tell you the truth. But Akin, he does not have the right. He does not have. Is it that he's not aware of his situation? He's not aware of the club that he's coaching. Dude, you're coaching Manchester United.
Biggest club in England.
After losing 2-1 to West Ham, even if that was one of your better games, that is not what should be coming out of your mouth. Because the West Ham you just played, West Ham are also on a poor vein of form, right? People are clamoring that Lopetegui should be fired from a West Ham standpoint. That's why Lopetegui was like, vamos when he won, because his job was on the line. Now you lost that game and you have the audacity to come and say that was one of our better. Read the room, dude. Read the room. You can't say that. And see,
okay.
Akin, there's some things there. As a coach, you might be very, very good with tactics and all, but there's also stakeholder management. There is press management. There is press manipulation. There is, Ancelotti. See, whether you like it, Arteta, a star when it comes to press management. He might not be a star in any other thing, but he always says the right thing. Always. Ancelotti, same thing. Always says the right thing. After this game with Real Madrid, he was calm. He was like, well, he was like, it's embarrassing. We apologize to the fans, blah, blah, blah. But we go back to the drawing board. Very calm. Yeah? it is part of being a coach. You need to know what to say. Because some people, the only interaction they have with you is that your press conference. So they don't know whether in the room you're a madman or whether you with your squad, they don't know any other thing. It is what you project at that press conference. That's all they know about you. So you need to protect that image. This guy right now, he's making United look like a comic club, look like a comedy club. You can't come out and say these things, Akin. You can't. I'm not a coach, and I know. You can't.
You really can't.
Even if that penalty was a dubious penalty, Akin, and yeah, I agree it was dubious.
I didn't see the foul. Did you see the foul?
I didn't see the. See, there was a touch.
I didn't see a foul.
There was a touch. Okay. Hear me out. There was, but once again, we'll get to refs in general later on.
Yeah.
If that was a penalty and VAR said you should, because the on-field ref didn't give it. It was VAR that said, sorry, there's a penalty there. Then Martinelli's foul today, that he somersaulted in the box, and they said nothing. Then I'm like, how can I juxtapose these two, put them side by side, and you will tell me that's a VAR clear and obvious error, and this is not a clear and obvious error? In my opinion, I don't think both. If you didn't give both as penalties, big deal. Martinelli's was more of a penalty than that foul by Delight.
I agree.
But Ten Hag does not have the right or the audacity. No, there is no way, Akin, that should be coming out of his mouth. No way. No way.
Okay. Where does Man U go from here? This is year one of their Project 2030. They're trying to win
this is year minus 5 at this point. They've regressed.
Okay.
Akin, they have regressed under Ten Hag. Right. And the only reason why he's not being fired is because of the financial implication. I'm serious. That's the only reason why they're not. And you will know. They said Ineos have money. That's what I heard.
That's what they said.
With the way they are moving these days, you saw we'll get to that story later. The funny one.
Yeah.
We'll get to it later. But Akin, this is the scenario. This is what they're facing. Yeah. In is it Europa League that they are in? Akin, they only have 3 points. They've only had draws all through. They played Fenerbahce. It was a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
1-1 draw. So right now, where are they going from here? Their goal difference is -3. Like you rightly said, 8 points, right? 8 goals, sorry. 8 goals. Only 2 teams, only Southampton and Crystal Palace have scored less goals than United.
Yeah. 6 goals.
Where do they go from here? You've considered 11 goals. You're sitting on -3 goal difference. Where is the light at the end of the tunnel? The only reason why he hasn't been fired is financial. That's
okay.
There's no other reason why he hasn't been fired. I don't want to believe it's sporting reasons why they are still. They believe he can turn it around. This guy.
Yeah. No.
Nah.
There's no way.
No. There's no way.
We're gonna leave Man U alone. I want to go to Chelsea because thought so. Chelsea played at home today, and they were playing Newcastle.
Yeah.
I don't think Newcastle had a great game. I thought Chelsea were really good today. I thought they were really good. Cole Palmer was extremely sharp. He had a goal disallowed. It would have been a great goal. And then he goes and scores a great goal anyway. And then their first goal that Nicolas Jackson scored, it was his turn and pass to Pedro Neto that made it happen anyway. He put that ball on the right side of Pedro Neto away from the defender. So this guy could take it without breaking stride. And for me, I just thought the intelligence was so next level, because for me, when the game started, before he scored that goal that was chalked off, I'm like, what do I need to see from Cole Palmer? When you're not scoring or even assisting, are you affecting the game, or are you just drifting? Are you just walking around? And I don't know why my mind went there. I don't know why I was thinking about that. So for him to be sitting so deep in front of the defense and to find Pedro Neto with that pass, I think he really elevated in my mind today, because it was like he had a sense of the moment, right? He had a sense of, this is my team. This team is not going anywhere without me. If we're going to be taken seriously, we have to go, we have to be able to beat Newcastle at home, and I was just so impressed. And then he scored his own goal. And I was thinking about you and how you feel about that goalkeeper, how I feel about that goalkeeper for Newcastle. And, anyway, so my take one, Cole Palmer. I think for me, I'm not easily impressed by stats, right? Goals, even assists. It's okay, fine, it's great, but can you play? You know what I mean? Or are you just getting all the opportunities? I think I'm beginning to get into the he can play. He can play, not just be productive. He can play. And then Nicholas Jackson today, also very impressive. One-time
Yeah.
finish. Like I told you, I'm rooting for the kid because I think he
Yeah.
got too much abuse. He got too much abuse. So I think this is crazy because coming into the season, I wouldn't have thought about this. I think Chelsea may be this season's Aston Villa. Just surprise, impossible to break down. Or no, not impossible. Not as easy to break down as we thought they would be coming in. I don't know if the coach will let them get there, with you like to call it chopping and changing. I don't think he can help himself. But I think just seeing Pedro Neto, and then I saw the tactical flexibility because Neto started on the left, he finished on the right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing, green shoots here and there, right? I'm like, okay, there's something there. The coach is learning, right? The players are learning. If Neto stays, we already think is an amazing player.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he stays relatively healthy, this could be something. I still don't like their goalkeeper. I still don't get why Kepa isn't there, or why the guy that moved to Saudi, they let him move to, what's his name again? The Senegalese guy.
Mendy.
But he didn't do anything wrong, So I don't like Sanchez. I don't think he's a great goalkeeper. But anyway, that's my take on Chelsea. Just wanted to get that off my chest. What do you think?
So, is it shocking to you that Chelsea's current vein of form coincides with Enzo Fernandez not start?
Ooh, I know you said it 2 weeks ago, but honestly, I haven't thought about it.
So,
And also, Caicedo has been playing really well.
so once again, Caicedo is playing very well right now because he's playing next to somebody that is more tactically aware, more responsible in Romeo Lavia. Yeah? So Lavia, Caicedo pivot in midfield is way better than Caicedo. Enzo.
And Enzo.
Enzo is a
Wow.
liability.
Ouch.
Enzo is a liability. It is what it is. Yeah?
125 million pounds liability.
Whatever
Wow.
amount you want to put on him. Yeah?
Whew.
Um
That's tough. That's
so
tough.
so I give it to Maresca. So once again, this is where the coaching is evident. This is where the coaching is yielding results. This is where this guy doesn't care how much. For example, what's his name? The Portuguese boy that came from Madrid. Remind me of his name again. The
From
Portuguese
Madrid?
guy. I'm from Atletico Madrid. Joao Felix.
Oh, Atletico. Yeah, Joao Felix. Yeah.
Joao Felix is not getting game time. Yeah? Joao Felix is not getting game time. So this guy he's not just playing people for playing sake. Yeah. Sancho had not too good game against Liverpool. He didn't play today. Yeah.
And he
So
had a couple good games before that. That's
exactly.
interesting.
So
Yeah.
Maresca is saying you play when you deserve to play. If you're not, I'm not looking at big names. I don't care. Give me quality in training. I'll play you. Mikhail Mudryk is not playing. Yeah?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He even they had a game during in midweek. They were away in Europe. He played all of them. Kenan Dewsbury, all the people that are not playing, they played that game. All of them. Nkunku, blah, 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 blah. They played that game. So I think this Chelsea, whatever that we're seeing, this Chelsea good form and everything, I am pitching it 95% at the feet of, what's his name? Maresca. Yeah. He's doing a decent job. He's comfortable enough to say, Cole Palmer, you're not playing left wing. I'm bringing you to Cam. It didn't happen last season. Nobody played in Cam last season, right? He said that's how we're gonna play this time around, and I'll play Noni Madueke because he's almost as dangerous as you are, but he can play Cam.
Absolutely,
he can only play that way. I'm giving you more flexibility, and you remember Cams don't have as much defensive responsibility as right wings or left wings, because the right wing and left wing, you need to track the fullbacks if they're attacking. Cam, you can hide the defensive liabilities of a Cam. All they just need to do is, shadow mark, not necessarily man mark. Yeah. So Chelsea's resurgence, I think, for me, is largely due to Maresca. Because Cole Palmer last season is doing almost the same thing he's doing last season. Yeah. But that midfield, that Chelsea midfield right now of Caicedo and Lavia, it's more, there's more balance. There's yin yang. I don't know what Enzo brings to the team. I'm sorry, I don't. Enzo Mba. And the other bit also is you can see that Maresca is trying to solve his backline. He still doesn't know who his top two centre backs are. So Tosin plays this week.
Fofana has to be one of them. Just put Fofana in there, let him get a run of games. You can rotate the other one, or just decide what characteristics you want next to Fofana. This is not hard, Yinka. And then let him have 2, 3, 4 games together and then see how he goes.
But I think that's the problem. I think Fofana is the problem.
You don't think it's that okay? You don't think it's good?
I think Colwill is the guaranteed starting centre back. Yeah.
Okay.
So Colwill is a ball playing centre back. Fofana is just a defender, right? Colwill is comfortable stepping into bringing the ball off. Fofana really isn't. Yeah. Tosin, on the other hand, Tosin is slow. He's not as fast as Fofana. So the question now is, who will pair Colwill as their starting centre back? I don't think it's Fofana. I don't think he wants Fofana. I will prefer Fofana. Between you and I will prepare Fofana, and I'll let him, get himself right and stuff like that. But you see those Disasi, what's the other guy's name? Axel Disasi, what's the other? I've forgotten his name.
Badiashile.
Badiashile and Disasi, those guys, nah.
That was the old Chelsea, meaning Chelsea pre-Maresca. That was the Chelsea of Raheem Sterling. You know what I mean? Like that's.
But they're gone. Those guys are gone. They might even sell them as early as January, right?
They should. They should.
I like Chelsea. Their big squad is coming into play because in Europe they are not playing the guys playing the Premier League, so they are fresh for every Premier League game. And because they are playing Europa League, is it Europa League that they are playing or the other one, the Conference League? Which one is it? I'm not even sure. Whatever.
Chelsea, they came.
I think they're playing. 12th? I think they're playing Europa.
Are they?
I think they're playing Europa. I might be.
Did they win a trophy?
No, sorry. They're playing conference. Sorry, they're playing conference.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because I'm like,
they're playing conference. Yeah. So they can say, you know what? If we win this, fine. If we don't win it, fine. We're not worried. Yeah, and they can then focus on the Premier League. So thumbs up to Maresca. Good job so far. Akin.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about Man U. We've talked about Chelsea. Let's talk very briefly about Man City. I say very briefly because they scored a goal. They played Southampton. They were home. Southampton was on the road. They scored within 5 minutes. I think it was like 4 minutes, 45 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
So this was Haaland after not scoring for like 3 games in a row and people thinking that was the worst thing ever. He was getting pulled down. If he hadn't scored that goal, it would have been a penalty.
Yeah.
And then after that, he could have had a hat trick. And it was a combination of some decent positioning by Ramsdale I don't think he had a great game, but he's getting a little more comfortable. He's not, he is who he is. Some decent positioning. There was a goal line clearance, I think. So anyway, I say all that to say they keep trying to pass everyone to death, but you have this absolute giant in the middle that you're not really getting the ball to.
But in
Please
defense
go
of
for it.
City, Akin, so this is what I'm saying. When Southampton came to the Emirates and they almost beat Arsenal, well, they scored first, and they was like, it's just Southampton. I'm like, you don't understand the psyche of a team that comes to your team and says, I'm not here to play football. I want to just disrupt you.
Yeah.
This is what happens. City are struggling. City struggled to break them down.
Absolutely.
And Southampton could have won. They had better chances than City.
Archer had that breakaway. It should have won because he scored against Arsenal. He should have scored against City. That should have been a goal. And then he hit. It was easier to score than to miss. It hit the bar.
Exactly. So, Akin, that's my point. The teams in England, they know I can't beat you if I say let's play football. I just want to come and make your life miserable. And out of that misery, right, you will make one mistake. You will give me at least one chance. And that one chance, if I take it, I'm gone. Which is what Southampton almost got away with at the Emirates. That the whole Arsenal fans and everybody were like, ordinary Southampton, you're struggling to beat. There was crickets. I didn't hear jack. I've not heard anything with respect to City struggling to beat Southampton. Nothing. And Arsenal had probably more shots on target and better scoring opportunities than City at home yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see where I'm coming to with this.
No,
if they continue to just throw the ball to Haaland, pull outs and stuff. Have you seen those Southampton defenders? They're tall. That's what they want. That's the kind of you want to play pull outs. Oh yeah, now we're ready. We're game. That's what we want. The only way you can break this kind of teams down is to play them, is to create chances, proper chances, not fluke chances. Because if you're playing that way, you're playing championship football, which is where they were. That's what we're comfortable with.
That's not good.
It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, City, they're fine. They'll be fine. Don't worry.
All right. City are top of the league after the team that was top of the league before, Liverpool, came to the Emirates and stole a 2-2 draw this afternoon. So, I think I was telling you this before we started recording. The last 2 seasons, when Arsenal went to Anfield, and I think it's fair to say outplayed Liverpool, but didn't win. Did not win. What I heard was, if you want to be a champion, you need to be able to go to places like Anfield, and you need to win.
Yeah.
So, will you lead the charge? Okay, in saying that if Liverpool want to win the league, they need to be going to Emirates and winning, because I haven't heard anyone say that. It's been a few hours since this game ended.
I'm
not going to hear it, is what you're telling me.
Oh. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say that. And my advice to you, just ignore these people. Yeah?
Yeah.
At this point. They're just saying it to rile up. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. As if Arsenal has never won the league before. Yeah.
At Anfield.
Yes, it's been.
Arsenal has won the league at Anfield before.
Exactly. They want to make it. Arsenal has won the league at Anfield, won the league at Old Trafford before. Yeah. So they want to make it seem as if, but it's understandable at this point. It's understandable at this point. You're not going to get that. From the media, from everybody, you're not going to get that. Roy Keane today, after the game, said he expects better mentality from Arsenal. How can you be up 2-1? Liverpool is there for the taking. Why don't you go take them? And I'm like, oh, dude, really? Really? Well, you see what I'm saying?
So let's break down the game.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go, or do you want me to go?
You go first.
You sure?
What was your take on the game? Yeah.
So, one, Arteta played mind games as, I think this is the most mind games I've ever seen him play. He usually steps it up when he's going up against Pep. But I don't think I've ever seen him go up against Liverpool with his mind games. Until I would say 2 hours, like half an hour before the lineup came up, nobody knew who was gonna play. With
Yeah.
amongst all the injured people,
Mm-hmm.
we heard the rumors that Timber might be able to play, that Saka may be able to play. So he kept that thing close to the vest. So
Mm-hmm.
a couple things for me. Obviously, the goalkeeper is not going to change. With the midweek injury to Calafiori,
Yeah.
Arsenal had a left back problem.
Mm-hmm.
With William Saliba's suspension from his red card, Arsenal had a centre back problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did Arteta choose to fix it? He moved Urian Timber into left back, who was also coming off an injury. He had missed like the
Yeah.
last couple games, I think. Moved him
Yeah.
into left back, moved his right back, who was really a centre back, right? Arteta was who converted him to a right back, but he's
Right
been
back.
playing right back now for 3 seasons. 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Moved him to centre back as the right footed and right sided centre back to play with Gabriel. And then
Mm.
moved Partey, which you and I did not like this, moved Partey
Mm-hmm.
into right back. And then played Declan Rice at the 6, and then played nominally anyway, played Marino on the right. That's what he ended up
No,
looking like, even
no,
though
it
he's
was on the
left footed.
left.
It
It
was
was
on the
on the
left,
left.
yeah.
It
But
was
yeah,
Kai played the Odegaard position, and it was
yeah,
Trossard up front, which
I didn't like that.
we thought it was going to be the other way. Yeah,
I
but
don't
Kai
like it.
played. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
really
too
like it
for
also.
me, too deep for me. And Trossard is not a focal point. But anyway,
Yeah.
but the big shocker for me was Saka coming in, and how
Mm-hmm.
sharp he looked. And he was talking to, at least on our broadcast, I think John Champion was the lead broadcaster, and then Graham Lasso was the color commentator. So he joined
Mm-hmm.
them at the desk on the field after, and they asked him, "Hey, did you pencil down this date?" He was like, "Absolutely." So he came in with that captain's mentality. He was a captain today. He put this guy on toast. What's his name? Robertson, who is
Robinson.
a fantastic defender, as
Yeah.
quick or quicker than Saka. Put him on
Yeah.
toast. Loved it. And he just put the ball top of the roof. Loved it. And I thought he played really, really, really well. My problem
Mm.
was, and I think I was texting with you, and I said, now is the time to put in the subs. But I also have, so this was when it was 2-1. I
Mm-hmm.
also have a lot of sympathy for Arteta,
Mm.
because at this point he had 2 forced changes because
Mm-hmm.
of injury. You can bring in 5 players, but you can only bring them in 3 windows.
Yeah.
So Arteta only had 1 window left. So whatever, he could bring in 3 players, but all at once.
All at
No
once.
more than 3, but all at once.
Mm.
So I feel like he probably waited 10 minutes too long, but at the same time, I expected Partey to tire out. But to be honest, he kept Diaz at bay, and Diaz got taken out. I mean, we
Exactly.
may not want to give him that credit, but he did that. What he did
No.
was, you got conventional wisdom for me would have been backing off. What he
Yeah.
did was he played on the front foot, and he
Yeah.
was just attacking the ball, and surprising Diaz and shocking him. And then you and I think Salah is one of the best African players to ever live. Right now, he's one of the best players in the world. And I feel like Arsenal kept him quiet for about 75 minutes. He
Yeah.
didn't really wake up until 5 minutes before he scored. So whatever Arsenal was doing was working. But
Yeah.
you were never going to keep him quiet for 90 plus minutes. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. I agree.
So that's kind of my take on it, but you give me yours.
So you're right. In terms of the lineup and everything, I remember before the game started, I told you, are we gonna have Rice at centre back, then White at right back, because that
Yeah.
was an option. I didn't like Diaz against Party.
Partey.
It was a recipe for disaster, and luckily it was only one moment that Diaz actually got past Party, and
Yeah.
it
Early
was a
on.
save eventually by Raya. No, it was actually in the second half. was way in
Oh,
second
really?
half.
Oh, I thought it
Yeah,
was
it was
one
in
in the
second half
first half too.
that
Okay,
he, yeah.
interesting.
But the goal, he was Partey. He kind of beat Partey for pace, but Partey recovered, and that's how they got the corner kick and they scored and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
to start with, yeah, I didn't like it, but give credit where credit is due. Thomas Partey had a great game given the
yeah. It
circumstances.
did.
Yeah,
It did.
given the circumstances, he had a great game. He did. And when Diaz went off, I thought Slot made a mistake there, right?
Mm,
Because yeah, Partey was going to
tell
tire
me.
out. You brought in you took
Yes.
off Diaz and you brought in what's his name, Cody Gakpo.
Gakpo.
Gakpo that is
Gakpo.
not a
Gakpo
byline
didn't have a.
player.
He didn't have a
Of
good
course,
game.
he's not a byline player. He always cuts in and want to shoot. But Diaz had options. Diaz could go anywhere, and he's faster than Gakpo. I would have
Yeah.
kept him on. I would have kept Diaz on, and I would tell him attack Partey because he can do that for 60, 65 minutes. He should tire by his time in 70, 75 minutes. He should.
Because
So
he's
when they
really
brought
40
in
years old.
exactly. So when they brought in Gakpo, I was like, why is Slot giving Arsenal a pass here? Come on, you
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Anyway, now flip to the other side. Urian Timber is just a fantastic defender. But it's just
Amazing.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he couldn't last the whole game. And I think it
Yeah.
was cramp. I think it was cramp that he had.
Okay.
I
I
think
hope
so.
you're right.
I think it's Gabriel that has a problem. I don't know how. Yeah, Gabriel has a problem. But this is what happens when you're down to your third options at both right back and left back. Because if Arsenal fans don't understand, right? Tomiyasu is injured. Urian Timber is not really fit. He just
No.
managed to play. Calafiori is injured. Saliba was suspended. Zinchenko should have come in instead of Luis Kelly. There was a reason why they didn't bring him in. He's on the bench, but he's not
We
fit.
need to talk about that. But keep
We need to
going.
talk about that. He's
Yeah.
not fit, right? So if you're down to your bare bones in that regard, and your most creative spark in Odegaard is not there, you will understand why after going 1-0 or 2-1 up, Arsenal will become a bit more cautious. People don't seem to understand this. People don't get this, right? And this is where people don't understand or undervalue Martin Odegaard. The reason why Arsenal was so prolific on the counter is because of Martin Odegaard. Because once he gets that ball, his vision, his speed, his thinking is elite. He will release the other people faster than a Kai will do, faster than a Marino will do, faster than a Declan Rice will do. Okay?
Absolutely.
So this game was screaming for who is going to be the creative spark. And see, I get the entire one drive. I'm one of you guys also. Maybe that's why I'm not the coach. I will play him. I will put him on.
Yeah.
I will have put him on earlier today. But I told you, I said, maybe the reason why Kai is still playing is because of the height. What I would have done is I would have taken off Trossard and I would have brought on Nwaneri. And I'll say, Kai, play up front. Nwaneri, play behind. Yeah? So given the situation, given the cards that Arteta has been dealt to start this season, injuries, crazy refereeing decisions, right? Because we keep seeing it every day, Akin. We keep seeing it every day. There were so many delay of restarts today by Liverpool. Nobody was carded. No one. The only person that got a card for delay of play was our goalkeeper. Prior, because at 2-1, he was slow in playing and they gave him a yellow card. Diaz kicked the ball away. Not a warning. Gave him straight yellow card. Diaz kicked the ball away several times.
Nothing.
Right? But see, so given I don't want to talk about referees here, we'll do that later. Given the cards that Arteta, the cards that has been dealt with to start this season, I can't really fault him. I could have done some things better. He could have also done some things better. But am I really? We are 5 points off City, given the situation at hand. Given the bad luck of fixtures, we have played the highest. We've had the tougher games all through this season. And those games have been made tougher by referees being trigger happy, sending Arsenal players off, one. And two, by injuries, which is part of the game, I get it. But we don't have a deep squad like City. Even Liverpool have a deeper squad than we do. I've told you this.
We
Yeah.
talked about that.
Liverpool Chelsea have a deeper squad than we do. Right? Our squad strength is we have very good players, but they're few. Right? That's the reality. That is the reality. So back to the game. Decent game of football. The second goal is totally Martinelli and Kivio's fault. Yeah. Because Arsenal were on the counter and Martinelli miscontrolled the ball, and they got the ball and it sprung into a Liverpool counter, if I can put it that way. And Kivio messed up. Skelly played Salah offside correctly. Kivio played his own guy. What's his name?
Nunes.
He played him on. Then, what's his name? Skelly switched to Nunes. But Kivio was running towards Nunes again, and he was telling him, no, go that way. Go with Salah. I'm already covering you for this guy. He should have gone with Salah, but he didn't. Yeah? He didn't. And the pass came in and he scored. So it goes back to, Kivio not being ready. You just thrust him into the game. Maybe he's not good enough. I think it's a bit of both. I don't think he's good enough, and also he wasn't ready. But you need bodies.
It got sunned by a 17-year-old. Defense and goalkeeper is really, really, really hard to play as a 17-year-old at the highest level. And this man, the way Lewis Kelly was processing, come on. And this was right after
that way.
Yeah, right after amazing outlet pass to Martinelli that Martinelli should have done much better with. And then Martinelli it took 2 seconds too long berating himself to chase back the person he lost the ball to, and that's where the pass came from.
And that's where the pass came from. But maybe it's time we talk about referees right now, because
Sure, go for it.
Okay, so we've already talked about the Man U West Ham. For me, that's not a penalty.
Not a foul, not a penalty.
Not a foul, not a penalty. But then we fast forward to Arsenal's game. Van Dijk, in the first half, Van Dijk elbowed, kicked Kai Havertz twice.
Off the ball.
Off the ball. It wasn't even a foul. No, it was no foul. There was no yellow card. There was nothing. And VAR did nothing to it. Nothing.
It gave a foul, but no yellow.
He didn't give a foul. Like, the ball wasn't there.
It did.
Sure?
It did. The one where he backpedaled. Yeah, it gave a foul, but no yellow.
Maybe I missed that.
Yeah.
But that wasn't checked for, what do you call it then? Misconduct. What do you call it?
I know.
It wasn't checked.
Dangerous, whatever. Dangerous player, whatever. Yeah.
Nothing happened. That's one. Two, the penalty Konate on Martinelli. That Martinelli somersaulted in the air. And I'm like, sorry, what's going on here?
They kept saying on our broadcast, Graham Lasso kept saying, Konate got the ball.
Aki, on Twitter right now, on my screen here, I'm looking at the game again. I'm looking at that particular incident again right now.
Yeah.
Aki, I don't understand. See, this is what they said. They said VAR. The referee's call of a no penalty for the challenge by Konate or Martinelli was checked and confirmed by VAR, deeming that Konate won the ball. Konate did not touch the ball, Aki.
They're saying they won the ball.
Konate did not touch the ball. This is not even a situation. He did not touch the. You have to touch the ball to win the ball.
Yeah.
It was Alexander Arnold that got the ball. Konate got the man.
Yeah.
I told you, almost every 50-50 in this game. Almost every 50-50. Almost.
Went to Liverpool.
Went Liverpool's way. Fouls that you will blow for Arsenal, when it comes to Liverpool, it's play on. The goal, the supposed third goal that the ref blew. When they showed the replay, I'm like, sorry, where was the foul?
So he blew for a foul, and I think it was Declan Rice, where it wasn't a foul. He surprised Szoboszlai, but it wasn't a foul. So I think the problem with Anthony Taylor, I don't think Anthony Taylor, unlike 5 or 7 other referees, is anti-Arsenal. I don't think so.
Mm.
I think he's just an average referee who has extreme confidence in himself. Is the worst kind of referee. You know how many times he did this to an Arsenal player? Like, get up, get up, get up. When there was a foul right in front of him.
Yep.
Sometimes a violent foul. And he was right in front of him. And he was like, get up. So he's a little too confident in his own ability. But Yinka, when your class is full of C students and you're a C plus student, you become the king. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
So this one, I don't think he has a bias. I think he has overconfidence in his mediocre abilities. But he's so much better than the other referees. That's how crazy it is. It's so much better than them. It's the same thing with Michael Oliver. Like those two, Anthony Taylor and Michael Oliver, they're so much better than the others. And they're really not good. So I don't know where to go with it. So he has, so what happened? Hold on, you got 1 second.
I'm looking at that ball again. The goal that was. There's no foul here. There's no foul here.
Szoboszlai got surprised. He didn't get fouled. But once the referee blew, that was it. You can't on whistle.
Akin, the ref blew the whistle not when the foul happened. The ref blew the whistle when Havertz lobbed the ball.
No. There was a whistle. There was a whistle for the foul. There was.
That's my point. There was a whistle. See, Akin, I'm looking at it right now. See, first header, none. Second header, none. It was when the ball landed in front of Havertz that the ref blew the whistle. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay. Well, then that makes it even worse.
So he was now saying he blew way before the ball entered the net. Yes, he blew. But my point is, he did not blow when the foul happened. He blew when the ball landed in front of Havertz. And he was saying, no, I blew the foul. So where is the foul? That's even my point. You had two contested headers, and you blew, and you said there's a foul. Which one was the foul?
It's the first one. That's what it pointed to. That's
the
where
Rise one.
That's where they took the free kick. That's where they played the free kick from. Look at where they played the free kick from. That was the foul to him.
If I'm contesting, there's a ball in there, and I jump to contest, and you don't jump.
Yeah.
How is that a foul?
It's not a foul. Szoboszlai was surprised. It wasn't fouled.
We can't.
He was surprised.
We can't keep on doing this.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
See, again today, that West Ham game, right? Was it the West Ham? Was it
the penalty?
No.
That was not a penalty.
There was a penalty that was. Oh, thank you. It was the Chelsea Newcastle game. Nkunku had. You remember that Burns tackled Nkunku in the whatever. The ref came and gave Burns a yellow card, and I'm like, dude, that's not even a foul. For you to be able to give a yellow card, you need to be sure and certain there was a foul.
He was sure. He was just wrong.
But they called him to the VAR, and he cancelled the yellow card, right? And he gave Newcastle a free kick or a drop ball, and Newcastle played. Meanwhile, the Newcastle player that went to him and said, dude, are you okay? How is that a foul? He gave the guy a yellow card. He didn't rescind that yellow card. The yellow card stood after the... I'm telling you. So he gave Newcastle players 2 yellow cards. He gave Bonds one, and he gave Longstaff, I think. He gave Longstaff another one.
But he only rescinded one.
He only rescinded Bonds one. The guy that was complaining, the yellow card stood. And I'm like, what kind of stupidity is this?
That's crazy.
What kind of stupidity is this? Maybe we don't watch the other leagues as much as we do, but we watch Abakin, you and I will try. We watch La Liga games. right?
Yeah,
High
we just
profile
watch
games.
Bundesliga.
We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have too many refereeing issues. The only problem with La Liga is they decide not to use goal line technology, which yeah,
Which is crazy.
which is crazy. But their refs are not as they're not like this.
think I've already made my point in episodes past about why I think this refereeing issue is so bad in England. So I'm not gonna go back to it. Is the lack of diversity. They're too chummy, with one another. And again, and when there's a senior person on the field and a junior person on the booth, I see a difference. This
Yeah.
guy today was too deferential to Anthony Taylor. It was
Mm.
an unknown kid in the booth
Mm.
and OG on the field. It
On
shouldn't
the
be like
field.
that, but that's how it is. So there's a lot that is wrong, and I still don't understand, Yinka, why they keep saying the semi-automatic offside is coming in
Yeah.
January. If you can, and they told us that before the season started. If you can come in January, why don't you start the season with
Why
it?
don't you start the season with it?
Or you just wait until next season if you know you can't get it until January. So I look, I give
But the
up on the EPL.
offside is not the problem right now. We don't have
No, I know.
see
Well, no,
no
they struggled. They struggled today, Inca. They're not drawing lines anymore. They struggled today.
fair point, and I totally agree with you, right?
Yeah,
But at least the issues we had with offside is because you were not where you're supposed to draw a line, you didn't draw a
they
line.
didn't draw it today. They didn't draw the line today.
They didn't show you, not that they didn't draw it.
Okay.
They didn't show you. They're two different things, right? And I can, in my profession as an auditor, they say independence. So as an auditor, you're required to be independent. So independence is not you just being independent. You also have to be seen to be independent. And I
Yeah,
believe it should be the same with the referees. You can't. You have to be. So everything you do, you need to show the whole world to say, see, oh, this is what it is. Oh, them not showing the lines that they've drawn, it could mean one of
yeah,
two things: a technical glitch, or you're not comfortable with the line that you drew.
absolutely,
And you don't want the
absolutely.
world to see the line that you drew. You know?
Because spending 5 minutes to determine that Van Dyke had played everybody on, when Van Dyke is showing you his boots, his blue boots that was there for everybody to see, is shocking to me. It's
Absolutely.
shocking to me because I knew from
Absolutely.
the first instance that the first guy who could possibly be offside was not who headed the ball. It was not.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't Gabriel. I knew where Marino came from. Marino snuck in. So I'm like, there's no way Marino was behind that play. He wasn't ahead of the play. There's no way. So I don't know why that took 5 minutes.
Akin, they saw
And you
the
can
boot.
if
They saw the
I know, and
boot.
then
They were
if
they
it
were
takes that
wondering if it
long,
was Van Dijk's or someone else's boot. That was
no,
what they were
Harvard's has had on blue boots as well, but it was behind. So I'm like, how do you not know this? And for me, if it's taking that long, the ruling on the field needs to stand.
It needs to stand. It
That's
needs to
it's
stand.
that simple.
It needs to stand.
That means it's not conclusive. Oh, by the way, guess what? Yesterday there was a conclusive ball out of play. Imagine, surprise, surprise.
Uh, I can
You
leave
saw
these
it.
guys. I saw it.
Okay.
Leave these guys. They know what they're doing. Meanwhile, before we move on, the injuries that Arsenal have and with their upcoming fixtures, uh-huh, there's really fire on the mountain, major fire on
Okay.
the mountain. The next three games, I think I sent it to you, right?
The
Is
next
away,
four. You skipped one. There's a
which is
game on Tuesday. There's a
Carabao.
Carabao away to West Preston North End. Bukayo Saka wants you to know that they're not overlooking them because the TV people today was like, oh, the next you're going to Newcastle. Like, no. Next we're going to
We're going to
Preston North End.
Preston. Okay, so apologies, Bukayo, but I don't give a rat's behind about Preston North End. If you like, play the under-17s, play the I
Oh
don't
my
care.
god!
It is
But
some
we
crazy
gotta
Arsenal
win
fans
something,
that
Yinka. We
says you
have to
have to
win
win
something.
something. I don't
We
care.
have to. No, but
And
you have to.
Akin, you play based on your circumstances, right? You pivot from time to time. If you started off
Okay,
the season, if we had a full complement of players, why
that's fair.
not? Imagine playing Bukayo Saka against Preston and he limps off.
No. You're not gonna do that.
Which is precisely my point. You can't. Yeah. So Preston, I get it. You don't even have an option. We already know. I can tell you what the lineup for Preston will be right now. Right?
Okay. All right.
I
Okay.
can. But then on Saturday you have Newcastle. Then on Wednesday you're away to Newcastle, which is a journey. You're going north. You're going close to Scotland, Newcastle,
Yeah.
right? Then you go to Inter, away to Inter on Wednesday. So for me, in my mind, I think they're just going to go to Newcastle and fly directly to Turin from Newcastle. There's no point coming back home.
Mm.
But because see, you need to
They'll
limit.
come back.
You need to limit.
It's 2024. These pampered players, they're flying private. They'll come back.
Okay,
Trust,
fair,
you know it.
fair enough. Okay,
Yeah.
so but it's a way to Inter. Okay, it's on Wednesday, it's not on Tuesday, so there's an extra day. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, my bad. So it's on Wednesday, so they go to Inter. Then they're back home in London on Sunday, away to Chelsea.
Yeah.
It's just like this barrage of red games, tough games, banana peels are just stacking up. They're just stacking up. And with the current injury profile, it's looking bleak. You're already 5 points behind City. Yeah. I'll be shocked if extra points are not dropped in these games. I will be shocked. If you had the full complement of your players, all well and good. But with this, nah.
Okay. So I think it's time for me to jump in. One, we need to wrap the EPL part of this broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
But also I need to do my I think it's time to do for the season my everyone needs to calm down take on Arsenal. Okay. But first, what you said about Zinchenko.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in the squad 3 games now. Each of those 3 games, we needed someone in his position, and Lewis Kelly came on. I don't think it's because of fitness. No other player who was out injured has been available for 3 games and not played. Everyone who was out injured has pretty much played when they've come back. Sometimes they've re-injured themselves, but they've played. I think Lewis Kelly is now ahead of Zinchenko in the pecking order.
Fair point.
And for good reason. We see it. When Lewis Kelly comes on, my heart is not in my mouth. I actually feel very comfortable with his defensive abilities. I do. And attacking wise, I don't think he's inferior at all to Zinchenko. This kid is ready. This kid is smart. This kid, he can do everything Zinchenko can do. And he's bigger.
Yeah.
Because I saw him when he hugged Urian Timber. He's taller than Timber. He's bigger than Timber. He's a big kid. He's a big 17-year-old kid. So anyway, so that was 1. 2, did you have Arsenal winning the league? I had them winning the league.
Did you have Arsenal winning the league? No. I had City winning the league.
You had City.
Yeah.
I think I'm beginning to waffle. I think I'm not sure we can win the league this season. And there's a caveat. The caveat, we've had all these tough matches, which means we're going to have an easier second half of the season. It's one or the other, right? You can't say all these matches are tough and then say the running is tough as well. I won't let you do that. I won't let people do that.
So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, you need to look at the fixture and look at how games are sandwiched. Yeah. So right now, the fact that this is just one half of the game, one half of the season. You could have a similar one the second half of the season, if you get what I mean. Yeah,
I understand.
But so
I understand.
You're playing Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea back to back, right? It could be the flip side on the second half of the season too, and you could be playing Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle back to back. I don't know what it looks like. So it's the structure of the games or the flow of the games as against. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Let me correct myself. So let me correct myself. Right now, just not even looking at home or away,
Yeah.
Liverpool have had an easier fixture list than we have.
Absolutely.
By a
Absolutely.
lot, which
By a
means
lot.
their tough games are coming. It doesn't matter how it's structured, it's coming,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I get your point. I get
Arsenal
that.
have gotten tough games out of the way. Arsenal have gone to the Etihad. City have to come to the Emirates, right?
Mm-hmm.
For every away game, you get a home game on the flip side,
Yeah.
right? That's
Mm.
what I'm saying. So now,
Okay. Okay.
in this
I get your
first
point.
half, Arsenal would have gone to Villa, gone to the Etihad, gone to Newcastle, gone to Chelsea,
Yes.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
done all this by game 11. That's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And that's a lot. Yeah, I'm not even talking about Champions League, and because I
Mm-hmm.
like what's his name? What's the name of Lee Dixon was in the US this weekend. So
Yeah.
normally he does commentary from England, but he was in the studio for the weekend just as a guest, whatever. So because normally he would tag team with Graham Lassau on these big games. So what he said was throw out everything you feel about the first 9 games. And, Rebecca Lowe, who is our studio host, was like, really? It's like, yeah, you're going to have, the Christmas period. You're going to have the flu season, which I never think about. But these people are susceptible to, upper respiratory infections and all that. They're going to have the Champions League, the heartbreaks, all of this stuff. So it's like good for Liverpool that, with a new manager and all that, they're doing what they're doing. But they've had a
Yeah.
really easy fixture list.
Mm-hmm.
City need to prosecute the rest of their season without Rodri. And I'm going to guess that KDB will miss 10 more games scattered throughout the season. He does it all the
Mm-hmm.
time. He's
Mm-hmm.
not younger. He's not going to get healthier, right?
Mm.
The problem is City just refused to lose. There are 4 points right now that I'm not sure where they got it from. The 2 against Arsenal, the 2 against who did they play last
It
week?
was Wolves, but you know where they got it from.
Wolves. Because I'm
You know where they
like,
got it from.
yeah, I know. I mean, I saw it. So, but can they keep doing that? So I say all that to say Arsenal fans need to calm down. Odegaard will be back.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it's very close. I have a feeling he'll play one of these 2 games coming up. I don't think we're gonna go weeks without Odegaard. I honestly I expected him to play today, so I think he'll be back. Sakai is back. He wasn't limping today. I think he'll be fine. I think everything's fine. Calafiori didn't seem as bad. So I think we're taking our lumps now. And I think it will be okay. But I'm worried is the luck that I'm worried about. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're not getting the luck. And I don't think you can because we got it last year. Saliba and Gabriel played. Once the Saudi thing was over, they played every
Yeah.
game together. They played
Yeah.
like 34 games together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we had that luck last year. We missed out by 2 points. Now we're
So
not getting
so
the luck.
so I hear you, right? And I mean I think you're preaching to the choir, right? Because see, maybe it's because you and I are in a bit of football management. You understand how these things
Mm,
work.
mm,
Yeah.
mm.
The way you plan your season is not the way it ends. At
Very
every
true.
interval, you need to pivot. You need to say, you know what? Let's take it easy here. Even the way you play will be different. It will be
Mm,
different. Yeah. And you're playing within the confines of PNS rules and everything. So
mm,
it's
mm.
tougher. It is tougher. So wherever Arsenal lands, all well and good. Yeah. For you people that believe Arsenal must win something, yeah.
They have to.
For you to satisfy, I don't want to win Carabao Cup. I really don't care about
I
FA
do.
Cup.
I do.
I'm telling you, see, I want it is either EPL or Champions League. See those Carabao, I will not be pissed off if Arsenal get knocked out of Carabao Cup. I will not be
I
pissed
would
off
be.
if Arsenal get knocked out of the FA Cup. I won't.
Uh-uh.
I'll be pissed off
Uh-uh.
if you don't win the league, right? But not pissed off. When I say pissed off, you get what I'm not saying
I know what you mean.
is
I know what you
Arsenal's
mean.
right. I will be, yeah, that's That's what I'm after. Not Carabao Cup, not FA Cup, not just any
But
trophy. If it is any trophy, then you can say, oh, you won something, you won Emirates Cup or something. You understand? Because this same
but
Carabao Cup is what you will win. That people will say is just a team fall cup, and
I know.
Eric Ten is the same tournament that's keeping Eric Ten Hag in his job.
But he also won the FA Cup,
No, I'm
which
just
is big.
you get
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
know.
saying. I'm
Yeah,
just using that as an example. Yeah,
yeah. My thing is you need to win big games, right? So go deep in the Champions League. Those are big games. Learn how to how to scale those hurdles when they come, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
big game, Champions League, you have to go far. If possible, win it. Like you need to be talked about as if Real draws Arsenal, they better be worried.
yeah.
And I'm not sure Arsenal is there yet. So for me, do what if you want to be City, then what City has been doing. City has by February they wrap up a Carabao Cup. That's what they do. They did like 4 in a
Mm,
row.
mm.
It's kind of crazy. They did like 4 in a row, just like that. All right, Yinka.
Yes, sir.
Uh, let's leave football behind and
Yeah,
very quickly do
rapid
a
fire. The
rapid
rest.
fire what he mentions. So I'm just gonna go quick. First thing that comes to your mind, just riff.
No problem
WNBA
at all.
Finals. I think last week when we were recording, the finals were either going on or about to. The game
About
5 was either going on
was
or about
about
to
to
start.
start. Yeah.
About to start. Okay. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. So we watched it. New York Liberty took it. Quick thoughts. First thing that comes to your mind.
New York didn't deserve to win.
Agreed.
The foul differential, the free throw differential was just ridiculous. Yeah. And the final call of the game, I still don't know where the foul was.
There was
Yeah.
no foul.
I thought they got
Phantom foul.
a clean block on Stewart, but New York has been yearning and praying for something. The refs, I mean, so I'm happy for them,
Yeah.
the whole parade and stuff. But I thought that that was just too it was too obvious. The bias was just too obvious.
Yeah.
They ended the season on a not too nice note for me. But well, overall, yeah, if you're looking at which team deserved to win, it was either New York or Minnesota. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, it didn't end well on in my perspective.
Okay. So my quick take: New York's best players did not come to play. That's
At
the
all.
net of the 5 games. Sabrina Ionescu had one great moment and one great game. I don't even remember if they were in the same game, but she had a stinker in game 4 where she made one field goal out of
She had
many
a
many.
stinker in game 5 also.
Game 5 as well.
Yeah.
Brianna Stewart is amazing, but she didn't play like one of the best players in the league.
Yep.
But they had so many of them. You know what I mean? They had
Yeah.
so many great players, and even when they didn't come to play, and it's reflected in who was voted as the Finals MVP.
Was
It
JJ.
was Jonquel Jones.
Yeah.
It was Jonquel Jones. It wasn't one of the obvious names because they didn't really
Yeah.
play well. So that's one. Two, and this is not an original thought from me. Remember our friend Mr. A?
Mm-hmm.
He literally was like, the Lynx need a point guard with a better basketball IQ. That
Yeah.
Williams is not it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
that's an upgrade. That's a pretty obvious. I mean, she's the heart and soul and all that, but that's the obvious
She's like
obvious upgrade.
she's a park b-ball player, right? If you get
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
I
So
like her, but she's not creating for every other person. She's just creating for herself to score.
first, yeah,
Um
yeah,
which was, in my opinion, was quite unfair on Nafisa. Nafisa had a fantastic 5 games. Yeah. It
yeah,
was an
yeah.
uphill task for her, and she held her own. Right.
She did it.
And
She
I
did
kind of
it.
feel bad for her. She deserved that trophy more than all of them. The refs really
I would say.
messed up that game. They really messed
Yeah,
up
she
that game.
showed up every game, and that's hard to do. And then my final point is actually about her. It's so funny because I try not to do this, but when you do the who do they remind you of on the men's
Mm-hmm.
side, and I try
Mm-hmm.
not to do that. with Nafisa Kolia is Grant Hill. The more I think
Yep.
about it, I'm
Yeah.
like Grant Hill is my comp for her, you know. And Grant Hill and Chris Webber are like my two favorite players of all time. But I'm like, it's Grant Hill. It's even the way she moves, the fact that she's a great defender, she's a great mid-range shooter.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a go-to player. She even runs like him. I'm like, why didn't I see this before? But yeah. So anyway, that's my take on the WNBA Finals. Yinka, this is the season where a lot of WNBA players are gonna go to other countries to play their second season.
Yep.
One day they won't have to do that anymore. One day is not this year. This year is not one day.
It's
They're going.
definitely not this year. They're going.
So
They're going. They started already.
it is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Next.
Before we leave the WNBA, there is something brewing right now with my girl Angel Reese. It's 3 different things that happened to her. So let me just talk about it real quick.
Yeah.
One, I thought it was a tongue-in-cheek thing she did, like a little video she did put on social media talking about, she can't pay her bills from a WNBA salary. She makes $74,000 a year, just under 74 actually. And she lives in a nice high rise where she pays $8,000 a month, right? So a lot of people are giving her advice on social media, including your boys, Maze and Cam, and they weren't nasty with it. They were just like, hey, you're going to run out of money, little girl kind of thing. I hope you have a financial advisor and you're checking their work, that kind of stuff. And I'm like, this girl makes millions of dollars. Millions of, now I don't know exactly how much it is, but when I look online, it tells me her last 2 years in college, she made something like 1.7 million combined her last 2 years. And now she has way more, endorsements.
She's a Reebok athlete. Come on.
And that's the thing. So Reebok, it was just announced last week that she's getting a signature shoe in 2026. Reebok endorsement was extended. They didn't tell us how much though, but we know CC's Nike endorsement is $28 million. So even if it's a third of that, multi-year, she's gonna be fine. She can spend $100,000 a year on her rent. So I just wanted to put that out there. But the last thing that happened to her was, she has a podcast. So this just happened, and Shaq was on the podcast. Do you know about this story?
Do you know about this story? It this morning. Okay. Yes, I did.
So Shaq was saying, again, Shaq always believes you should lower the rim, as I do. You don't. And Shaq mentioned again that they should lower the rim. Of course, Angel doesn't think they should. And then Shaq had a moment where he was like, hey, imagine if you had those shorts on. Apparently she had some shorts on that were showing, some of her, anatomy. And imagine if you had the shorts on that you wore at this event, however many months ago, and you're dunking on it. And I think Angel Reese was taken aback a little bit. And then Shaq said it again. And Angel was like, okay, all right. So I actually think this is not a big deal. But I understand I'm a Neanderthal in 2024. And everybody's going to take this to like the nth degree. And Shaq is going to be canceled. And that's going to be the end of his life. What's your quick take on this?
Shaq getting canceled, that's extreme to start with.
But do you think it will happen? It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think about what he said. Do you think it will happen?
I don't think it will happen.
Okay.
I don't think it will happen. Yes, it's a bit inconvenient. It's a bit, not even a bit. It's quite cringeworthy, right? But I don't think it's a big deal. Just like you, yeah. How old is Angel Reese again?
Is she 21 or 22? How many years did she spend in college?
So on what basis are we canceling Shaq then?
So Shaq actually handpicked her for Reebok, right? So Shaq has a title with Reebok. I don't know the contract, but Shaq actually is like director of whatever basketball. at
So
Reebok, right?
you see what I'm saying with this? It's
I know,
the link
I know what you're saying.
is quite extreme. I don't like what Shaq did. I wouldn't have done it. Yeah, I wouldn't have said
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but for you to move from that to say Shaq getting cancelled, based on the laws of how people get cancelled, right? I will be shocked if, and it's Shaq. You understand? Everybody kind of likes Shaq. Everybody, they know Shaq is goofy as hell. Shaq has done worse things on interviews that I've seen. Yeah, so I
So
don't like it, but I don't think he gets cancelled.
Angel is 22. I thought she was
So
younger.
you see where I'm coming with this? Yeah.
How
So
old is
on
Shaq?
what basis? No. I'm following the rules of you
I
guys
know,
that
I know.
cancel people.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Aha. That's it. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Shaq is 52. So it's a 30 year age difference. Okay, we're gonna move on. We'll see. Watch this
Let's move
space.
on. We'll watch this space, but I doubt it. Let's go
Uh
on.
a, a story that I care absolutely nothing for or about.
Yeah.
This is your team, the Lakers, doing a madness with this Bronny James situation. So I'm gonna let you take it. You guys had your nice little moment, father, son, blah blah blah, for the first time. I don't care anything about this. Up to you. What did you
So
think?
I'll make it fast. I was this was not really about James' family. I was going to actually look at this from a JJ Redick standpoint, right? Because I think JJ was just like, you know what, let's get this over with, yeah. Because since that moment happened, that spell of like 2 minutes, they've played 3 games. Bronny hasn't seen the court since then. Yeah. So JJ is just like, you know what? I don't want this to hang over me for the rest of the season. I want this done with. Yeah. Be ready. Second quarter, I'm gonna get you in with your dad. We get this over with and we'll move on with normal business. Yeah. So that was quite impressive. I thought this was gonna be a big, but
Will
just
they one day?
where will they one day kind of thing. But he did it well, got it out of the way. And Bronny has not smelt even garbage time. Well, they've not really had garbage time. But he's been on the bench and
They blew someone out, but go on. Maybe that was the
but
first
that
game.
game, that was the game against Suns where they were down 20 and they ended up winning by 10. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's JJ I would really want to talk about. I'm happy for the James family. I
Okay.
knew this was gonna happen, right? There are some times when you make coaching selections or coaching hires and you just kind of, you kind of have that thing, that feeling. It was the same way I felt about Arteta. I'm beginning to feel the same way about JJ. Hear me out.
Hmm.
It's only 3 games, I get it. But with what he's doing, with what he's saying, yeah, I think Lakers might have hitting a jackpot.
Wow. Okay.
They might have, right? Because JJ comes in press conferences, is saying the right things. Even in practice, there was one video I saw, it was Bigs versus Smalls, and they were playing, and it was all fun. It was father son himself. He joined, he said, I'm a god. He joined them. He played. And yes, that's competitive. It improves, the mood within the team. But also it helps in the game because everybody's switching these days. Yeah. So if a big switches on you or vice versa, then you need to know what to do either as a player or as a defender. So these kind of small things and the fact that even his selection of coaches, the support staff, he had 2 experienced coaches on his team, which is a stark contrast to Davin Ham, who just wanted to do the thing by himself. This is the first time the Lakers have started the season 3-0 in like 15 years, Akin. And the people
Wow.
they beat Minnesota game 1, Phoenix Suns game 2, Sacramento King game 3. These are contenders
That's
in
a
the
good.
West. They're not
That's good
just
teams. Yeah.
normal people in the West. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's where I was looking at it from. I told you we both agree the James O thing. I'm happy for Bronny. He should go through G League work his way through G League, and I understand once they're back from this away trip that they're going for, he's going to G League. They're sending him down to the South Bay Lakers. Yeah. So,
Yinka,
yes, sir.
I think if and when he goes to the G League, he's not coming back. I think people think the G he's not gonna make it there. He's not good enough.
Akin, fingers crossed.
Okay.
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Yeah. Don't crucify the young man yet.
I can't wait. I can't wait. You know. So I had 2 episodes earlier this week with 2 different, let me use my daughter's terminology now, 2 different friend groups that made me conclude that I'm firmly in the get off the lawn phase of my life now. I've become that adult. I just don't have the patience, frankly. You know, and I think one of the things I have the least amount of patience for, I hate social media, you know this. You hate social media as well. But the thing I hate the most about social media is people our age, Yinka, who call their kids their heroes. I want to slap them in the face when they say that. Okay, and I say this as someone who loves my kids, but they're not my heroes. They will have to do some heroic shit for them to become my heroes.
Language.
You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, but what are we doing? What are we doing? You know, I always rail against falling for trickless magicians, even when they're your kids. Your kids have to do something for them to be. They don't become heroes because they came out of your loin. That is insane. That's ass backwards. What are we doing? I'm sorry. Like, the fact that you came out of LeBron James doesn't make you anything. No one in the G League is going to care. They are going to target the hell out of him.
Yeah, but that's good for him.
Oh, he's not going to make it. That's what I'm telling you. He's not going to survive.
That is none of your business or mine. Yeah? Do you understand? So what LA is doing is simple. LA realized this matters to Bron, and what Bron wants matters to us. Let's get Bron out of the way, satisfying him, so he will not pout. He will not give us issues. Let's satisfy him. Sending him to the G League, does it hurt the Lakers in any way? No.
They wasted a roster spot, a precious roster spot on this kid who can't play.
Akin. The Lakers, you win some, you lose some. The Lakers won this draft not because of what's his name, Bronny. Lakers got Dalton Connect, 17th pick. Have you seen the young man play?
Yes.
Dalton Connect is playing, is getting valuable minutes on the team. Yeah. So if they're saying, I need Bron to be energized, I need him to be whatever, I need him, do whatever you want to do. And see, you say LA is the city of angels, fairy tales, and all those kind of stuff, right? They love that moment. You saw them, Ken Griffith Sr. and Jr. came in. It was all right. That's the headache. It's not you and I don't know why you're worried about
that
it.
Was the worst. That was the worst part of it. Ken Griffith Jr. is one of the best players ever to do it. You know, in baseball, they call them 5-2 players who can do everything. It can hit for power. It can hit for average. It can play in the field. It can do everything. Ken Griffith Jr. is more like LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is insane. If not for all the injuries, this man would literally have been the best player to ever live.
Yeah.
And right now, it's still very close to some of the, the best talent that we've ever seen.
You know, all I'm telling you is, it's none of your business.
It's my business when they put it on my TV. It becomes my business.
Then don't watch it.
It becomes my business. Like I'm just like, where is this? Where are we going in this world? The lack of resilience in this next generation bothers me because I'm raising kids in this next generation. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, again, if your kids are your heroes, Yinka, what about the kids who don't have the opportunities our kids have, who are and have cancer? You know what I'm saying? So if you actually do like heroic stuff, what do I do? How do I reward that? When
Then
you just being
you
my
take it
child
a
and
step
waking
further.
up, you being my child and waking up in the morning apparently is heroic. Because that's
Yeah.
that's all this kid has done. He's LeBron's child and he wakes up in the morning. That's it. He hasn't done anything.
But let's see. Let's see how it pans out for him. Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
not
goodness.
rooting against him, right?
Oh, I
I'm
don't
not.
care.
I will
I,
not. All right. But see, the way the whole world is against this whole thing, I'm beginning to sympathize with him, and I might actually now start
what?
rooting for him.
What?
Yes, I'm not
What?
see
You are
because
crazy.
I love underdogs. I love
He's
people. I
not an
love
underdog.
underdogs.
He's terrible. He can't play. He's not an underdog. He's not an underdog. You know what I mean? He came from LeBron, one of the best to ever do it, and is not even nearly as good. That's the problem. It's not an underdog.
Fingers crossed. Let's end
Oh
today's
my
episode
god.
on a very very light note. We've
Okay.
been bashing United, the club and the what's the name? The club and the coach. But something
Yeah.
funny happened. I thought it was a joke initially, but I confirmed it and it's actually true. So Ballon d'Or event is happening sometime. When is it? I don't know. Maybe next week or thereabout. But it's happening in France. Yeah. And so Man City have quite, battalion of players that are going because of the number of people that, I think they have Rodri, Haaland, Foden, Savinho, Ruben Dias, and also on the women's side, they have like 3 women or so. So they're getting a charter flight to go from Manchester to
to France.
from Manchester to Paris. So United, on the other hand, they have 2 players that are invited: Kobe Mino and Garnacho, as one of the
In the
younger whatever.
young,
Yeah.
yeah.
So United cheekily reached out to City and said, "Can my players hitch a flight with you?"
And what did City say?
Hell no!
Wow, really?
I'm telling you.
Why would it say
City
no? I
said,
don't get that.
City said,
Why would they say
hell
no?
no. Why would they say yes?
Why not?
Please tell me.
It would be a nice moment. Your young players get to interact with all these older players. A time for unity in Manchester. It would be a nice thing to do.
I thought you would wonder why on earth is
No,
United? Why
I
is
would do it.
United even City can then start. Oh, you're having connection with your players, and they can then start lobbying them from there, right? So
No, but
you're not scared of.
but Yinka, you're missing something. You're missing something.
Yes.
One,
Yeah.
this is like the biggest club in England.
Mm-hmm.
You're reaching out to the team that got relegated how many times in our lifetime?
Yes.
If I'm that team, if I'm City, I'm taking that opportunity to be like,
tables have changed. Tables have changed. Because why they are asking them is simple. So the first question that came to my mind is, why can't United get their own charter flight for these 2 boys? And apparently they said they're cutting costs.
Thank you. That's where I was gonna go, because they're now under new management. They're canceling Sir Alex Ferguson's contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard they're canceling his contract, right? So Ineos must have told a lie to everybody, because what we heard was they're going to bring in money, pumping. Now they're cutting costs, but it is shameful and it is embarrassing, right? This sounds like Kevin Hart and Jay-Z. Well, you remember that story that Kevin Hart said, "Jay-Z, are you going for Super Bowl?" He said, "Yeah." "Okay, I'm coming with you." This is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. This is embarrassing for United. I'd rather put my players on coach and fly them business class on general whatever, than go meet City to say, "Sorry, can we hitch a ride with you?" What kind of nonsense is that?
So from a Man U point of view, it's embarrassing. From a City point of view, you say yes. You say yes 10 out of 10 times.
No.
Okay, let me flip it. Yinka, let me flip it. Bring this to North London.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If Spurs sent that message to Arsenal, it would be the other way around. If Arsenal were not doing well and Spurs were doing well, and Arsenal goes to Spurs will say yes 1,000 times, and then all their fans will feast on their North London neighbor. I'm like, this is a missed opportunity. I'm sorry, this is a missed opportunity by City. I would 1,000% say yes.
But the news is out already, so it's still the same impact because City fans have been mocking. City fans have been mocking their United colleagues, right? How can a whole United be hitching a ride? They are booking Uber. They want to.
Oh my god! This is embarrassing. It isn't. So either way, it's embarrassing.
Either way, it's embarrassing. Why? Anyway, they can't just seem to get anything right. When I first saw this, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke. I thought someone was playing until I dug around and I found out it's actually true. They offered, Mino and what's his name, Garnacho. Can they hitch a ride with you?
There's a way you play this. You're cutting your carbon footprint. You're being a good neighbor. You're doing. For me, it makes sense to do it. It's like rival clubs employing, let's say, Brazilians, and then they have to fly on national duty. It makes sense for the Brazilians to fly out of, let's say, London together, right? Even if they play for Crystal Palace and Spurs or whatever, right? That makes sense, So I just don't get it. Carbon footprint, all of that stuff.
No. But let me tell you what's going on. So City now, even if they had space on their private charter, City will be like, hell no. Pep, do you want to go to Paris? They'll just look for 2 extra people and put them on.
Absolutely.
And I'll go to United and tell them, sorry, I don't have space for you. We're full.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. You need to put this. We need to cut this up when it's done and put it on our little Man U friend group, because this is hilarious to me. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Right. Anyway,
so I guess we're not gonna do a donkey of the week because this would just replace the donkey of the week.
Yes, the whole United setup.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Inka, take us home.
Anyway, thanks guys. This has been fun. As usual, still on track for 1,000. We're getting closer, and we appreciate the engagement. We don't have any questions this week from you guys, but please, let's get those questions coming in. Please continue to subscribe to our channels, tell your friends about us, and also reach out to us. Let us know whatever it is you want us to talk about. Akin, once again, thank you for the engagement. And thank you for your saber, what do I call it? Lightsaber mic that's always
lightsaber mic.
Lightsaber mic that's always flashing in my face. It's been fun. It was fun, guys. Akin.
All right. So just one thing for me, please. When you get one of our shorts or reels this week, share it with somebody and encourage them to go on YouTube and subscribe and hit the notification button. Help us get to 1,000. Thank you, Inka. Fun as always. And we will see you all next week. Goodbye.